Good to have you with us. It's Transport Month, by the way. We've been focusing on the state of the country's roads. In some areas, it depends on what's left of the roads. The poor state has been largely blamed on maintenance backlogs, we're told. Well, Deputy Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga been travelling around the country. Good morning to you, Deputy Minister. You've been taking a look at maintenance repairs in some areas, all part of your department's Transport Month campaign. I mean, you can now see for yourself just how bad some of the roads are around the country. What was your experience from what you saw?
Good morning and good morning to your viewers. Indeed, it is October Transport Month, and we are showcasing what we have delivered as the Department of Transport, taking into account all transport modes, whether it is road, rail, aviation, maritime, public transport as well. And we have also been looking around our roads, in particular our national roads. And we therefore this week embarked on the project which is taking SANRAL to the people, which we look at how SANRAL has empowered people, but also on how SANRAL is achieving its Horizon 2030 strategy together with its transformation policy, which they adopted. However, from your question, you will remember that Minister Fikile Mbalula launched in August what we refer to as a Hambasong, which is about patching and closing of potholes, but also of small roads in the Republic of South Africa, following that project, which is the Hambasong project.
And we're taking a look at some of the more comically sized potholes around the country. I think this is up in, I think it was Everton. I think this is where this major pothole was. It's big enough, Deputy Minister, to be a swimming pool. And I'm not even being sarcastic. There were children playing in the size of this pothole. I mean, what's our timeline here before you and I can have a conversation and say this project's been a success? How long are you looking at working on this?
In fact, the Hambasong project was launched, and it actually talks to the closing of potholes, and therefore it is being rolled out throughout the country, also looking into the very potholes that you're referring to. We are thinking that in the past we focused on tarring our roads, particularly our small municipal roads, and that is too expensive. We're moving towards paving municipality roads. The advantage of that is that first, it is cheap, but if you look at the whole value chain, it's possible that you can empower our people who are going to make those small bricks that, of course, must meet the SAP standards. And then if the advantage of that is that if at any time you have got to repair the road, you remove the bricks and you can reuse them. And that is the approach that we are taking now, because we realize that maintaining tar roads is much more expensive than maintaining paved roads. So yes, it's the project that is being rolled out. It was launched by the minister and it was approved by the MINMEC, which is Minister MEC structure. And therefore all provinces are expected through their grants to embark on this project.
Deputy Minister, I understand the response and I thank you for it. I need to move on to the health briefing, but I just want to ask you one more time before I let you go, Deputy Minister. What's the timeline? When are we going to see better roads in the country? Are we talking about a year, or is it going to be just in time for the next elections in a few years' time?
No, sir. Remember, roads are constructed and maintained. So that is something that is ongoing. You can't say N3 is now constructed and that is all. You go to construct and maintain and expand. So it's an ongoing project. And even this one, Hambasong, it also depends on the availability of funds. So yes, for this now, it was launched and therefore it's a rolling we're rolling this project over so that it has got to happen. So it's happening now. It's going to continue happening. Once you've paved those roads, you still have got to maintain those paved roads. So it happens like that. So you can't say at this moment this will happen. But also, sir, let me say this. Also, we have a project that looks at our gravel roads to say how are we supposed to maintain them, because we're not going to wake up in South Africa having all the 750,000 kilometer network being paved. Not even America has that. I'm talking about the well-developed with the 6 million road network, kilometer road network. They are not all paved. So even in South Africa, others, they will be paved. Others, they will still have to be maintained as gravel roads. Others will, of course, will be tarred. Like we're talking about our main national roads. We're talking about our main provincial roads that connect towns to towns, towns to villages, and towns to tourism sites, and so on and so forth. But we will be doing that. We're embarking on that. It's massive. It calls for funds. It calls for funding model, but we are on track as attended to that. It's got nothing to do with elections.
Okay, so Deputy Minister, it's fascinating you mentioned the paving for municipal roads. I think that's actually a very clever way to go about this as well. You mentioned at the start of our discussion, Deputy Minister, you were looking at national roads as well. We both know that municipal roads and side roads, the smaller roads, are a problem. I always thought our national roads were actually in pretty good condition. I always thought driving on them, they were in good condition. When you mentioned national roads, are you able to give me an example of which one is a main focus for you?
For instance, we have projects on a number of our national roads. I mean, Pietermaritzburg, for instance, right now, there's a huge, massive project that is attending to N3, N2, N4, and so on. So we are attending to our national roads, and we are expanding them, we are maintaining them, we are reconstructing them, we are painting them. So it's a lot of work that we're doing when it comes to national roads. Let me tell you that because of the quality of our national roads, South Africa is number 18, is placed at number 18 in the world in terms of the quality of its national roads and some provincial roads. So we're not doing that bad when it comes to our roads. And you will remember that with our 750,000 kilometer network, we are number 10 in the world, and number 1 in Africa, because of the size of the country as South Africa. And to be at number 18 in the world is a good achievement on the side of South Africa with such a large network or a long network. So we're not doing that bad. But of course, when it comes to our municipality roads, we've not found, we did not have that proper strategy. We thought that putting a black top is the answer, but I think we've now recognized and that the paving is the best method to go.
I think it's a very, very interesting way of looking at it, and I'm glad you raised the paving thing. I'm looking forward to see how that plays out as a different way of looking at getting the roads repaired. Thank you for your time. Deputy Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, joining us here on ENCA.